What's up, everybody? Welcome back to the Hog Line Podcast. You are listening to episode 33 of the Hog Line Podcast. As always, I'm your host, Mitchell Manis. Jack's not on this episode today. I'm joined by Joey. What's up, Joey?
What's up, guys?
We're gonna talk about the NBA playoffs today. We're gonna be getting into every series. Pretty much every one is decided at this point. Teams are for the most part up 3-0, or some like the Celtics that series is over, but most of them are decided. Probably the only one that's kind of up in the air is the Nuggets and the Spurs series, but nonetheless, we're gonna break down every one and talk about the major storylines in the series. So, yeah, we're gonna get right into it. The first series that I have written down, we're gonna be talking about the Boston Celtics and the Indiana Pacers. I'm wearing my Celtics shirt right now. My Celtics have swept.
Bandwagon.
Why am I bandwagon?
I know you're not a bandwagon. I'm kidding. But no, you are, though.
You don't know me like that.
Go ahead.
The Celtics swept the Pacers. Games were relatively close.
Low scoring, too.
Yeah, especially the game one. Game one was 84-74.
That's ridiculous.
And, the Pacers scored 8 points in the third quarter in that game. So that was a very defensive game. The Celtics pretty much won with their defense, I'd say. I have a few numbers written down. The Celtics held the Pacers to 91 points per game and 40% shooting in the series.
That's crazy.
Yeah, so
that scares me. Actually, that genuinely scares me.
Yeah, you should be scared.
I've always been scared of Boston. Boston and Toronto scare me, not the Bucks.
I mean, it's gonna be impossible for me not to sound biased, but I said it all year that we're gonna be in the finals. I said it from the beginning. I said it even when we were struggling in the middle of the year, and I said it. I made the IGTV video that we're gonna be playing in the finals, and
not even the middle of the year. You guys were struggling at the end of the year. It was still kind of a question mark going into the playoffs, and like they just kind of got it together. Yeah, I don't know. It's kind of crazy.
Yeah. What I like how Jason Tatum does, but I mean, it's only been 2 seasons, but both years he's improved in the playoffs. He stepped up in the playoffs as opposed to his regular season stats. Last year he kind of had to because of all the injuries, and even this year, I mean, he was averaging 16 a game in the regular season, and now he's averaging, I think, 19 in the this first series in the playoffs. So, I mean, got that clutch gene. He's got that.
He's only 20 or whatever. What's it called? Honestly, like if Oladipo wasn't hurt, I think this is a way different series. I think this might even go 7 in my opinion, because like you said, they were all really, really close games. And what they were lacking in those like really, really tight moments in the end of the game was a star player to take over. Like there was no hope for them coming into this series. Like it's just the truth.
Yeah, it's kind of sad though. I mean, like they're still a good team without him. They've got nice pieces.
Oh yeah, they play really hard. They're just like the Clippers.
Yeah, even he's been hurt since the midway point in the regular season, and I mean they've played like 45. I think games around them without him, and they still maintained like everyone expected them to drop to like whatever, like maybe even out of the playoffs.
I originally said, oh man, I wonder if they're gonna make the playoffs. I remember that's what I said.
Yeah, and even for most of the year they were at that 3 spot in the East, and they it kind of came down to like the final few games of them dropping down to the 5. So they were pretty much in the 3 or 4 the whole year, and it's kind of a shame that, I mean, I liked, if they weren't playing the Celtics, I probably would be rooting for them.
Mm-hmm, I agree.
But they've got some nice pieces. But again, they don't have a star, and you need a star, multiple stars probably to go for NBA playoffs.
Miles Turner had a career year though. He was playing amazing.
Yeah, I mean, he really, like, I feel like every time that I saw, every time he had an open shot, like at the 3 line, he made it. Like he made a lot of threes in the series. He's really like improved on his outside shot, I'd say.
I think he stepped up as well as he could after that Oladipo injury. Like he really tried his hardest to take over as like the new leader of the team, and it just, it was never going to be enough. But he really tried really hard.
Yeah,
I do feel bad, like you said.
Yeah, I mean, I think the key to the series was the Celtics defense. I mean, 91 points and 40% is pretty crazy, and that game 1 was the best. 74. No, what NBA team scores 74 points a game?
No, yeah, I have no idea. That is nuts.
Yeah, so the Celtics look good. I mean, Marcus Smart didn't play in this series either. I know Marcus Smart's not the biggest. He's not going to put up 30-point games or whatever, but he's important. He plays really good defense, and if he was there, defense could have been even better. But it looks like he's not going to probably come back till the Eastern Conference Finals if they make it there. But who knows? Maybe if this is a long series, he can come back like game 6 or 7. Who knows? So that's something to look out for as well.
It's definitely going to be a long series. Real quick, the Bucks are up 15. I'm pretty sure we can just like nail that in the coffin. Like that series.
That's the next one I have written down to talk about. So we'll move on to that one. The 1-seeded Milwaukee Bucks played the 8-seeded Detroit Pistons, and Milwaukee was up 3-0 going into tonight. And as Joey just said, they're up 15 with how much time left?
7 minutes left in the fourth. No way.
It's pretty much a done deal. The Bucks look like they're going to sweep the Pistons, and it looks like we're going to have a Milwaukee-Boston second round.
That's going to be a long series.
Probably. I'm expecting it to. I'm not expecting it to be easy by any means. I still think we're going to win, but
I agree. I think Boston does win this series. Sadly, I'm not happy to admit it, but I really do think, yeah. It sucks.
In terms of this series with Detroit, they won the first 3 games. The Bucks won by an average margin of victory of 24 points. So they're winning these games very easily.
This was the most boring series I watched throughout this couple of weeks. It was a struggle to watch these games, literally. Like the night died down when we would be watching NBA playoff games during the Detroit Milwaukee game. It was horrible.
I mean, the Bucks are just so good. I mean, like I said, they won by an average of 24 points the first 3 games. They'll probably win this one by 15 or more.
Oh yeah.
And Giannis didn't even play that well in game 3, but they still won by, I don't know what the score of game 3 was, but they still won that one by a lot, and he didn't even play that great. He only had like 14 points. I think he didn't shoot very well.
He's killing it right now. He got 36 points, 8 rebounds, 3 assists.
Wow.
He's 11 for 22 shooting, 2 of 6 from 3. That's nuts.
And I don't know if Malcolm Brogdon played this game, but
he did not.
Yeah, he did not. And he didn't even. I don't think he played the whole series, and he's one of their better defenders, better players. So.
Oh yeah.
Just the rich get richer if he comes back soon. So.
Don't even tell me the rich get richer. As a Boston fan, your depth is insane. Like it's ungodly. Like, oh God, don't even.
Yeah. And Blake Griffin did not play in the first 2 games of this series either. So not like that would have probably been a difference. Probably would have. He would have helped obviously, but that's something to note that he didn't play the first 2 games. I'm kind of mad. I really wanted to see the Pistons play the Raptors in the first round because Dwayne Casey is the coach of the Pistons, and he would have.
Oh, that would have been interesting.
Raptors. Yeah, and honestly, it could have happened. And all that the final seeding in the last 2 spots in the East was determined in like the last few games of the season. So.
That would have been a way better matchup for Detroit, like way better. Obviously, like that's kind of a no-brainer because the Bucks are so good. Yeah, but also like just like the matchup is just like Drummond. It was rendered useless this series. Like he got his boards, and I think he had 16 tonight, but like he's just nothing.
Yeah,
such a nothing player.
I would have just loved that storyline of Casey returning to Toronto after they fired him.
Yeah.
After Coach of the Year. That's the weirdest thing ever.
That's probably one of the weirdest things in sports. Winning Coach of the Year and getting fired because he just couldn't get it done in the playoffs. But I don't know. That's a debate for another time.
Yeah, but I don't know when we're gonna preview the Bucks Celtics, but I mean that's gonna be a great series. It's gonna be.
That's probably gonna be the best series in the East, to be honest. Because not that I'm doubting
your boys.
No, not that I'm doubting the Sixers at all. I think we're going to take care of Toronto and meet Boston in the Eastern Conference Finals, and that's also going to be a good series. But the Bucks Boston series last year was also just amazing. So I guess it's already hyped up.
Yeah,
so I'm looking forward to it.
Very different last year. The Bucks were a 7 seed in the playoffs last year.
Weird to think about.
So obviously they've had a great year this year. They were the best record in the NBA, I believe. I think they had more wins than Golden State, but yeah, best team in the league this year and. whole different year from last year.
I
So
guess Brogdon's going to cover Kyrie, I assume, or
if he comes back, I don't know the status on his injury here, but
they would definitely put him on Kyrie over Bledsoe, right? Probably.
yeah, no,
I
but
think so.
that's also another interesting thing how Eric Bledsoe and Terry Rozier had that beef last year in the playoffs.
I can't wait for that. Yeah, that's going to be sweet. Oh, man. Terry is such a – he really just – scary Terry, man. Scary Terry.
He's real
good.
scary. Yeah, we'll move on. Next series we have is the Sixers Nets. Obviously we're gonna have a lot to say about this one.
Oh yeah.
Philly's up 3-1, and I mean, looks like they should win. I mean, that they're not gonna lose 3 in a row.
No way.
But
no, it's over tomorrow.
Two of the games in Philadelphia, if it makes it that far. But yeah, they looks like they're safe. They're up 3-1.
You should not play Embiid tomorrow. They shouldn't. There's no point. There's just absolutely no point. Give him rest. Let the tendonitis heal. I'm hoping the Magic can get one more win, and then we're gonna be set for the next round.
Yeah, but, that's what I've written down. I have written down that this team will go as far as Embiid. Embiid takes them and pretty much hit how healthy he is. That's kind of
the weird part is we actually play really well without him. I'm not saying it by any means that the Sixers are better off without Embiid or anything like that. But like for like teams like Brooklyn, we can easily, and with 3 chances, not that I want the series to go 7 games, but with 3 chances without Embiid, even we're totally fine. I'm so ready for this Jared Dudley stuff to be over.
Yeah, no, that's what also obviously I wanted to talk about that. It's kind of the elephant in the room.
He is an elephant in the room, you're right.
Yeah, I think he's so annoying.
I think he's the most annoying player ever, just because I like I don't know about you, but I like Patrick Beverley. I like guys like that get in your head and they actually back it up. Jared Dudley does not back anything up. He went on a little bit of a scoring run in the most recent game. I think he hit 2 threes in a row or something, and he started egging Ben on. But he's such a non-factor in the game that he has no right even trying to like make turmoil. Like Pat Beverley at least is like kind of like getting in KD's head. Jared Dudley's just being an idiot. He's just embarrassing himself.
Yeah, Patrick Beverley is one of the best defenders in the league.
Yeah, like
he's not an offensive threat, but defensively he can really take a player. And he plays bigger than his size. He's a small guy, and he plays bigger than his size.
I didn't get that. I still don't get that. Why is he matched up with KD? Like I just don't understand how it works even.
Yeah, it's a different thing in playoff basketball. It's just the tougher guys just they get out there.
True.
But Jimmy Butler, Jared Dudley got ejected in the 3rd quarter of Game 4. Pretty wild stuff.
Stupid.
Yeah, that's bound to happen at least once in the playoffs. Some big fight's gonna break out, and there it was.
But there's got to be some accountability on that for the refs. The refs lost complete control of that game. Like before that play, Jared Dudley was throwing his head into Embiid and stuff after the play, and nothing was being called. It was a ridiculous game the entire time, and they had no control over it. And then that's what happens. Jared Dudley's gonna go crazy and get people ejected. And honestly, it was really smart. That was their game plan going in. They got Jimmy Butler out. Thank God we still had enough to win.
Yeah, you're right.
I was really worried about that.
Yeah, that's kind of the whole point. If you're just like I guess that's kind of the angle that Dudley's going for. If you're not really a factor in the game, might as well try to egg on one of their better players and try to get them either rattled or get them to do something crazy, like throw a punch or something like that.
Yeah. No, yeah. I mean, like I wanted to throw Mike Scott in there, and I wanted to throw a punch at D'Lo, get them both ejected. Why not? Apparently that's allowed in the NBA. And
Mike Scott is a scary looking guy.
Oh my God, like the emoji tattoos. It's horrifying. Like who would decide to do that? Like, oh.
I don't know. I wouldn't want to see Mike Scott in a dark alleyway.
Well, I mean, James Johnson's still obviously the scariest guy in the NBA, right? He's got to be.
Yeah, I know. I'm just saying.
UFC fighter.
Yeah. Brooklyn, in terms of them, I really like them. I think they've got really young pieces, and they're a nice team as well. But obviously they kind of need a free agent too.
I was gonna say, do they have are they gonna be big like buyers this offseason? Like, do we know? Because like I assume they're trying to get another superstar to come there. God, who goes to Brooklyn? I don't know, but
Honestly, but like, why wouldn't you rather, if you're a free agent, I don't know the financial situation of Brooklyn, but would you rather play for the Knicks or the Nets?
I mean, the Knicks have Zion Williamson coming there most likely, and don't get me wrong, I actually shouldn't base it just off that, but also the Knicks can afford a lot more. I don't even know, like you said, I don't know what the Nets situation is financially, but I'm pretty confident the Knicks have more cap space as it is, so like they can sign 2 superstars, the Knicks. So like,
Yeah, I mean, aside of
bigger
just,
market too. People always talk about bigger market.
the whole like the name brand, like, oh, it's the Knicks, right? But like the Nets have a nice team and they've got a nice young core, and I don't know, I wouldn't rule them out if I was a big name free agent.
When's the last time that the Knicks meant anything? Like really meant anything? Like actual
Knicks?
contenders, not Carmelo. Like don't
Not,
get me wrong. Like that was a good era, but like that they were never contenders truly.
I don't know how they were in the '90s, but I mean,
if do we go all the way back to Patrick Ewing? Like, do we really have to do that?
I don't know.
So how much better are the Knicks than the Nets? Like, let's be honest. Like, I don't like even like as like a market. Like, I don't know. It's a tough question.
It's still New York.
It's true. Yeah, it's true.
Yeah, I mean, they're a nice team and all, but the Sixers are just more talented, and talent always prevails in the NBA.
It's literally the same exact series as last year with Miami. Yeah, like they've been trying to get in our head, and they don't have enough talent, and it's just going to be an annoying series that we're going to win.
Yeah, you're right. Yeah, I think it all, and that the second round of the East is like where it really begins.
It's going to be awesome.
There's four contenders, 4 teams that have a realistic chance, somewhat of a realistic chance, you know.
Yeah, and no surprises. This is what everybody's been talking about all year. There's only 4 guys in the East that really can do anything. Like literally said in the beginning of the year, we didn't know how it was going to shape out with like seeding and stuff, but it's literally exactly how we predicted, and now it's game time. I'm excited.
It's going to be the best year of the Eastern Conference playoffs.
Oh, and yeah, what, 9 years? Is that how long LeBron's been here?
No,
more. Isn't more than
that. This is like the 15th year.
I know, but I mean like 9 years straight in the what's it called? The finals.
Yeah, you're right.
I think it's either 9 or 8 or something like that. I forget. So yeah, it'll be interesting. Did you see that? Just building off that viewership is down 30% for the NBA playoffs.
I didn't know it was that much.
Yeah, it's completely affiliated with LeBron. Like it has to be. Like it's just like people just aren't watching, which is crazy.
Yeah, I just want to go on a quick tangent too about LeBron. I think he's going insane.
Oh, I think he's going. Yeah, I can't say that word. I'm gonna say, but yeah, he's going crazy. He's going he's just trying to like convince himself that he's okay, and he just isn't.
Yeah,
he's putting pictures on Instagram and like Twitter and stuff.
It's just straight up denial.
It is straight up denial. You're right. It's sad.
LeBron, you gotta just accept the fact that you're not in the playoffs and
it's completely his fault.
Stop trying to make good of the situation. You didn't make the playoffs. It's not good.
No, yeah, you should be mad. He should be mad.
Like it's a good thing. He should be mad, and he should want to. I'm sure he is deep down that he didn't make the playoffs, but
it's his stupid fault.
I don't know. He's in LA. He's acting weird, and honestly, I don't. He'll probably pull something off and someone will probably sign there, which I hate. But like, I don't know. I don't know why anyone would want to play there.
I like who, like what, Clay's going there? You think? I mean, we can't go on a tangent like this, but like you said, I don't know who's going there. Maybe Kyrie. Apparently, reunion.
Hope not.
I hope not either. God.
Yeah. Let's move on. We can talk about that for a while.
Yeah, we could.
The Raptors Pistons series. Wait, not Raptors Pistons. Jeez, I wrote Raptors Pistons down. That's because that's what I hoped to happen.
Yeah.
Raptors Magic. Excuse me. The Raptors are up 3-1 after going down 0-1 in the first game. They lost. They've won 3 straight. They're looking good. Kawhi Leonard's looking great. He's averaging 28 points and 6 boards in the playoffs, shooting 53%. Hyper efficient, doesn't turn the ball over. Kawhi's looking good, and I don't know. I picked the Raptors to go.
Real quick.
Sorry, go ahead.
The Bucks are popping off right now. Giannis has 41. Like he's just going off.
Yeah,
this is crazy. Sorry, I didn't cut you off.
They should just put him on the bench.
They really should. I don't know what kind of statement they're trying to make against the freaking Pistons. But go ahead. Sorry.
Yeah, you're right. No, I picked the Raptors to go to the Eastern Conference Finals. Wow. Just because the last time we saw Kawhi play in the playoffs was when they were up against the Warriors 2 years ago. Yeah. And I kind of got like a feeling that he could Like that was the last time he almost beat the Warriors. I mean, I'm saying he almost beat the Warriors by himself because that was only that one game, but they were up by so much in that first game of the Western Conference Finals 2 years ago or whatever it was. But I don't know. I just think Kawhi is really good, and I feel like people forgot about it because he wasn't there last year.
No, yeah, I completely agree. I think Kyle Lowry's going to step up a lot more than he has lately for them to be able to like contend with the Sixers. I really think that we obviously have more talent than them, which is not saying much because like there's such a fundamentally good team. Like Siakam is going off recently too, but I don't think Marc Gasol is a good enough answer for Embiid at all. I think that's a huge advantage for us.
Yeah, that's what I had. Kyle Lowry, kind of a rough playoffs for him as it usually is. He usually kind of struggles in the playoffs.
I'm so glad they got 0 points to take the heat off Ben for that 1 point game. Finally, someone took the heat off.
Yeah, that's bad.
That's really he had a good game technically. I mean, other than points, obviously, you can't have a good game with 0 points. But he had like 8 assists, 7 boards, I think, like 3 steals or 2 steals.
Yeah, and it's so fine. Like, they obviously recovered from the game 1 loss, so it all worked out in the end, and they're gonna win this one most likely.
Still a crazy series. Magic are really putting up like a good effort.
Yeah, it is weird to see them in the playoffs. They haven't been.
It's really weird. Vucevic, oh my God, Vucevic is a non-factor. He disappeared.
Yeah, he had such a good regular season though, making the
yeah, it's a shame.
No, I've always been a Vucevic fan. It was back in like, I don't know, like years ago. I would I would turn on alerts for Magic games just so I could check his stat line because he was just such a good rebounder and I was just like obsessed with him. But
I think you're the only person in America who has alerts on for the Magic games.
That was a long time ago.
Yeah, that's unbelievable.
Yeah, he really is struggling in the playoffs. I mean, I just pulled up his numbers in the postseason. 12 a game, 8 boards, and only shooting 37%, which is really bad for a center because centers take high percentage shots.
Would you consider Aaron Gordon? Obviously, he's not a superstar or anything like that. Would you consider him even a star? I'm trying. He's playing pretty well. I don't know if you're. I'm trying to look at the stats right now. But
in the playoffs, he's averaging 16 and 7.
Like that's not terrible. Like yeah, I don't know. Like he's kind of been lackluster too, actually.
Very nice player, but yeah, call him what you want, the star.
Yeah, I guess.
Another thing I have written down about the series, do you think that Siakam is a lock for most improved player of the year?
Oh, yeah, absolutely. I mean, who's second behind him? Like, I know Derrick Rose was a conversation for a little bit, which is not the case anymore.
Russell could maybe win it.
Oh, yeah. No, that's true.
Honestly, yeah, I didn't even know who Siakam was before this year. And
yeah, no, neither did I.
He's like, if you're an NBA fan, you know who he is, obviously, so...
He's the only person other than Chris Bosh in Toronto Raptors history to have 30 plus points and 10 plus 15 plus rebounds or something like that in the playoff game. So don't get me wrong, that's a very stretched out stat, but it still says something.
Yeah, I don't know what game that was, but he had 30 and like you said, I think he had 15 and he had no turnovers. So that was I think it was either game 2 or 3. I can't remember, but
his 3-point shooting has gotten so good.
Yeah, he really took off this year and he turned himself into someone that not many people knew until in the discussion for most improved player of the year, probably the favorite. Yeah. So that's the Eastern Conference. We're gonna move over to the West. First series we're gonna talk about the Rockets Jazz.
Oof.
Rough series for Utah.
They're very rough.
Could get swept. Games just about to start. I think it may have just started. They play tonight. So, yeah, Harden is killing it. He's averaging almost a triple-double. He's averaging 29 points, 8 boards, and 10 assists, and he's shooting 40% from 3. Despite that
terrible game.
Despite shooting, he's starting 0 for 15 in Game 3. He's still shooting 40% from 3 and 43% from the field.
That just speaks to how good he is. He can have a 0 point, like 3/4 of 0 points, not 0 points, but 0 scoring. And he can still be averaging all those numbers that you just said. Like that's absolutely absurd. People are kind of locking him out of the MVP conversation, and I know playoffs don't matter for MVP, but I think he's really kind of showing that it should not be a lock for Giannis, not yet.
I don't think he should win. I think Harden should win it. I've been saying that.
You really do? Wow.
I think Harden should win it. I said it in the beginning of the year that he was going to repeat. He was my preseason MVP prediction, and I stuck with him the whole year because I think if he doesn't win, I think that would probably have to be the person who had the highest points per game and didn't win MVP. I think didn't he average 35 in the regular season?
I think so. I at one point it was at 35.
I don't remember the stats off his top of my head, but I think it was like he averaged 35, 6, and 7. Like who has that stat line and doesn't win MVP?
No, yeah, I never saw this coming. I like at the beginning of the season, like I did not think he was gonna repeat. I thought it was one of those years that it's just like what's it called? A guy that kind of like changed the game a little bit, like not changed the game, but anyway, sorry, he's oh my god, he's averaging 36.1 in the regular season.
Yeah, and
that's absurd.
His numbers are better than last year when he won MVP. He could have won MVP 2 years ago when Westbrook won. When Westbrook won MVP, he was averaging 29 points, 11 assists, and 8 rebounds, and 44%. When he won MVP last year, 30 points, 8 assists, 5 rebounds. This year, 36, 7, and 6.6. So
yeah, look at that right now. That's crazy.
Better year than his MVP season. And I don't know. I just think that it was his to lose, and I think he should still be it. But
88 from the free throw line too. Don't sleep on that.
And that stretch when Capella and Paul were hurt too. Like he was doing it by himself.
He put the team on his shoulders. He really, really did. I've never seen anything like that.
Yeah. So
that was the most that was nuts.
That's my case for Harden for MVP. I still think he should be it, but
how about defense? I mean, he's not playing bad defense, but like Giannis is playing both ends of the floor like no other. So I don't know. It'll be actually for once an interesting NBA awards show. I really don't know where a lot of these awards are going to go.
Yeah, you're right. So anyway, back to the series. It's all well and good that they're beating up on the Jazz, but the real question, in my opinion, is that do you think they have any chance against the Warriors in the next round?
Houston?
Because I mean, they're healthy now. They're playing really well now. And like last year, they almost beat them, and they didn't have Chris Paul in the last game or two of the series, I don't think. So now they're healthy. They're playing well. I think now is as good a chance as ever to beat the Warriors if they're going. I mean, they almost beat them last year. So I don't know what's different between this year and last year.
Nothing actually, like literally nothing, because now Cousins is hurt, so it literally is the same exact team as last year. I mean, a couple of different role players, I guess. No JaVale McGee, sadly.
But now they have a healthy Chris Paul, and Capella is having a better year this year than last year. So, I mean, I don't know.
It's going to be a great series once again.
I feel like people are like counting them out more this year than they did last year, but I just don't see what has changed.
Because because we saw them crumble. I mean, that's our last memory of the Warriors against the Rockets is the Rockets falling apart, missing how many threes they missed? Was that stat? A crazy stat?
Oh yeah, that was bad.
It was like 0 for 31 or something. I swear to God, it was something like crazy like that. But that may be an exaggeration. But no, yeah, as long as they don't have meltdowns like that, and as long as, God forbid, if Chris Paul gets hurt, like, I'm literally not watching the rest of the series because that would just annoy me so much. Like, yeah. It's not even the fact that I'm rooting against the Warriors. I mean, I am obviously because everybody is, but like I'm not like even rooting against them. It's just the fact that they would be so lucky so many times.
Yeah, it'd be a shame.
I'm done with it.
He's got problems with his health in the past, so you want to see every squad at full strength.
Yeah, I agree.
So
except for the Warriors.
I don't know. I'm not saying that the Rockets are going to win because I don't think they will, but I just don't. I just feel like there's a narrative that like it's still the Warriors automatically every time. Where I don't know. I feel like not much has changed, and I just didn't get it. So
I mean, like the Warriors are playing very, very well. The Clippers had no chance. We'll get there, obviously, but like even now Clay's even showing up. So yeah, you're right though. Like we'll have to see. We'll talk about that later though.
And Jazz, what do they got? What do they got to do to get over the hump?
I think they're screwed.
They're screwed. Why would you say screwed?
For the next couple of years, I think Donovan, hot take right here. Donovan Mitchell peaked last year, in my opinion. I feel like
okay.
Yeah, he peaked in his rookie year. I know, but I really feel like he's not. I mean, Kyle Korver really did vouch for him the other day, and that meant a lot to me. I'm not gonna lie. Like just because like Korver's such a professional. I don't know if you heard his speech about Donovan Mitchell after the game.
I did. Yeah.
And like I really like that. But I really do think Donovan Mitchell peaked, and I don't see him leading a team to a championship. I really just don't. I don't know
Yeah,
how you do.
I like you said about Korver's his little speech there. I mean, it does mean a lot because he's been around the league, older guy. He's seen a lot of players play with LeBron.
Play with AI.
Yeah,
And he's talking up Donovan Mitchell. Like what?
yeah. So this is obviously a guy that's seen a lot of very special, talented players, players that are going to the Hall of Fame. So he's seen a lot, and for him to say that he's one of those special guys, you know, he's a very credible, source in that regard. But I don't know. I just think they're not with the roster they have. I feel like they're never going to be good. They're going to be a good team every year. They're a playoff team year in and year out.
Yeah, I agree.
And they're maybe even good enough to win a series. But I just
as long as Gobert's there, they will be in the playoffs. He provides enough defense alone.
I mean, eventually the Warriors are going to have to dismember the team. It's not going to last forever. And with Mitchell being so young, things could change in 3 or 4 years.
True.
But as of now, they're just not. It's not possible for them to expect to make the finals.
I just can't. Yeah, I can't imagine the Jazz, like, especially with this lineup with like guys like Joe. I love Joe Ingles to death. Like, he's one of my favorite players in the NBA. He's just the best. But I don't know. Like, is he really like? There's not enough talent on that roster. Like after Gobert and Donovan Mitchell, I guess it goes to like who's the next talented player. I mean, not. I guess Derek Favors maybe. Is he the most talented player? Am I forgetting someone?
I don't think so.
Like that. That's not good. That right there should scare any franchise.
No, like I said, like they're a solid team and they're going to be good every year, but it's not going to be great and not going to be an elite team. So
isn't that the worst place you can be in any sports? In any like sports league, like professional league, like right in the middle.
Yeah, good but not great.
Yeah, like I mean, like I always think about like the Andre Iguodala Sixers with Drew Holiday and Evan Turner and stuff. Like we were literally so stuck in the middle.
What's like an NFL team? Do you think that could be like?
An NFL team that's stuck in the middle. Houston Texans.
Not even like the middle, but like a team that's good that will probably make the playoffs most years, but just never not
enough
championship.
I mean, Dallas has kind of proven that they've been like that lately, with this Zeke Dak Prescott duo, like in the past couple of years.
For some reason, the first team that came to mind was the Chargers.
Yeah, I feel like that's just Phillip Rivers being a Hall of Fame quarterback and he's never had talent around him until this year, right? I mean, like I have no right to talk about the NFL, by the way, but
I feel like that's more of a victim of the circumstance of just being with Brady and Manning for the majority of his career in this conference.
True. Yeah, no, you're right.
Yeah, I feel like if he was in a different era, maybe he would have a chance. But yeah, maybe the Chargers aren't the best example of that. But just a team.
I think they're like an up and coming mediocre team of the Ravens. I think Lamar Jackson, is that his name? God, I'm really bad at NFL. I think he's going to keep them. Yeah, he's going to keep them in mediocrity for a long time, long time.
Yeah, so it's just interesting to, I don't know, if you're a team like that, what do you do?
You do. The Sixers did. You tank. Like I'm sorry. Like it's not good for sports. You can say whatever you want to say, and leagues are like the NBA especially is trying to fix it, but you just got to blow it all up at that point. I'm not saying the Jazz are there yet. I think Donovan Mitchell, like you said, you got to give him at least 4 or 5 more years to like develop as a superstar. But as it is right now, yeah, not nearly enough.
Yeah, sorry, we're getting off topic here, but I do want to say one other thing. It kind of has to do with tanking. I think it's dumb how the bottom 3 teams have an equal chance for one. That is so dumb.
Yeah, that's really stupid. It's gonna be. I cannot wait for the lottery. It makes the lottery way more interesting though. Like
it does, but like if you're the worst team in the league, you deserve to have the best chance. I'm for like lotteries, like they're cool and stuff, but they shouldn't be equal. Like
you're a big fan of the NFL, yeah, with standard.
I mean, not the NFL. Like I get why there is a lottery, but it should not be equal. There was nothing wrong with the way it is, you know?
What do you mean? So are you saying who's the worst team? I haven't even looked at it. Is Cleveland the worst team, like statistically? The Knicks are the all right.
Yeah, so like the Knicks deserve the best chance, and now it's equal between the Suns, the Cavs, and the Knicks. They all have, I think, a 14% chance
I'd be shocked if the NBA let Zion go to the Phoenix Suns or even the Cleveland Cavaliers.
Oh,
I'd be shocked.
I think he's going to the Cavs.
You think he's going to the Cavs? Wow.
I think because the Cavs, I think they won it. They won it that one. I think 3 out of 4 years they won, and I think 2 of those times they like weren't even close to having the best odds.
Yeah.
So I think there's a conspiracy theories with the Cavs and the NBA draft lottery. So I think Zion's going to the Cavs.
Wow, bold.
Yeah.
I haven't heard that yet.
But anyway, I just think that's dumb. How I think if, like I said, you want to prevent tanking, so you have a lottery system, but it should be however it was before this change. Like the first should be, I don't remember what it was, but
it was ridiculous. I think it was 24% was the first chance. Like it was something like that. It was in the 20s for sure.
I think there was nothing wrong with that. Like it shouldn't be equal between the last 3 teams.
Yeah, no, and like it was always a lock. Yeah, it's tough. It's really tough.
Yeah. So anyway, we'll get back on track here.
Yep.
The next series we're going to talk about, probably the most competitive one. It is the most competitive one. It's the Nuggets and the Spurs. It's tied at 2-2, and I probably could go 7. I mean, with the way things are going, I don't know if one of these teams is going to win back-to-back games. I think they've went back and forth in the first 4. It's a pretty great series. The Nuggets are they're more talented, but they're just young, and Pop's experience is really helping out the Spurs here.
I think if this series goes 7, whatever team comes out of it is just screwed. They're gonna be so tired, and who are they playing? They're playing the Warriors, right?
No.
Portland
OKC.
Portland OKC plays Warriors. They play Rockets play Warriors.
Yes, it's gonna be Rockets Warriors.
So then Portland. Okay, my bad. I'm an idiot. Portland OKC. So they're probably facing off against Portland. Yeah, I think neither of these teams can beat Portland. Portland's having a great year, so at that point it wouldn't matter to me.
Yeah, I don't know. Shout out to Jack on if you don't remember. I think it was you. I know you weren't there. It was me, Kieran, and Jack on the NBA. Our way back in October when it was our NBA preview episode, like of the season.
Mm-hmm.
Jack had the Spurs in the Western Conference Finals.
Oh yeah.
And
didn't he have? He had him as like a 3 seed, right? Didn't he have like a high seed?
I don't know what seed he had him, but he had him in the Western Conference Finals. I think taking the Warriors to 6 or 7 games. And Kieran and I, we were just so shocked, and we just laughed at him and we made fun of him. And I mean, I'm not saying that they're going like this series could obviously go either way, but it's just interesting to think about how there is a roadmap for them to make the Western Conference Final. Like, it's definitely not out of the question.
Not at all. I really do think what's it called? I don't know why you laughed at him. I really like that in the beginning of the year. I mean, even when after that trade with Kawhi and stuff, I feel like the Spurs are still a very talented team. LaMarcus Aldridge, Derek White. That's all. I always confuse Derek White, Patty Mills, and there's one more. I always DeJounte Murray. I don't know why. I mix those 3 players up all the time, but they're all very solid players. And like you said, Popovich is just not a loser. He refuses to lose.
I guess, and I was
a good team.
I was definitely like, for anyone who was saying the Spurs wouldn't make the playoffs, like Pop doesn't miss the playoffs. He's making the playoffs. He could have me, you, Kevin, back up there for making the playoffs. But
I don't know about that.
I just thought taking the Warriors to 7 games in the Western Conference Finals was just ridiculous to say.
Yeah, no.
So, that's why I was just so. But honestly, they could make it there. If they beat them, Portland is a beatable team. I don't.
Sure.
So it's not out of the question, and that would be crazy if he was right, because I just didn't see any possible way that was going to happen.
I'm not gonna lie, Charles Barkley's got me on that Portland train though. I really do. I'm starting to like them a lot. CJ McCollum's really impressing me. But we'll get there.
We'll get to them in a second, but
yeah, we'll get there. Yeah.
Derek White is really
he's coming off
playoffs. He had that 30-point game. He had that 30-point game, and he's averaging 23 throughout the first 4 games of the postseason. So he's really I don't know. He's making a name for himself in the playoffs.
Yeah, he is. Oh my God, he is. Wow.
I
had to watch that series more.
If you had to put your money,
I knew you were gonna ask me that.
Who's winning this?
Who's winning this? I'm it's got to be San Antonio, right? It's just got to be.
Yeah,
I can't imagine Denver moving on. I just can't see Jokic. I don't know. It's really tough.
Yeah, it should be good.
At the end of the day, though, I really don't think it matters. I do think Portland wins in the next round, and they go on to the Western Conference Finals.
Yeah, I said when I made my NBA playoff prediction, I had the Spurs, so I'm gonna stick with the Spurs just out of consistency.
Yeah, sure, good for you. Way to keep your morals straight.
Yeah. Celtics going to the NBA Finals.
No, they're not.
Anyway, yeah, it's gonna be good. But we'll move on to the Warriors and Clippers. Golden State's up 3-1, and you know what happens when Golden State's up 3-1.
Never in a million years. I wish.
LeBron is unfortunately not playing for the Clippers. He's playing for the other LA team, so LeBron's not gonna save them this time. But outside of that wacky game 2, Golden State's pretty much handled their business in all the other games. That was just a fluke game when the Clippers. That was the largest playoff comeback in NBA history.
Yeah, I mean, it's like you said, that doesn't matter. I love how no one even reacted to DeMarcus Cousins going down. Like no one cared. I mean, like it was news, but no one was tweeting like, oh, like prayers up for DeMarcus Cousins or anything, because honestly, he asked for it. That's karma. That's karma and a half right there.
I'm not wishing injury upon anyone. But
I will. I will.
Okay. All right. So
I'll go there. I don't care. Come on now. He made that was the biggest. That was worse than Durant. That was the worst comeback move ever.
He's getting a ring. So.
Yeah, he is, and that's the saddest part. He probably will get a ring after all this. It's horrible.
Yeah. But
wait, will he? Don't you have to play a certain amount of games in the regular season?
He will get. I think he'll get it. No, he'll get it. He's on the roster.
He barely played. Yeah, you're right. Who am I kidding?
But it's bound to happen. The Warriors sometimes just have a weird night, like game 2, and obviously that's pretty embarrassing that they choked away that. It was a 31-point lead, I think it was.
Yeah.
I saw the score and I'm like, all right, I'm going to bed now. And I feel like a lot of people probably did that, and
I did go to bed. I woke up to the craziest surprise ever.
Yeah, so, but it doesn't matter. Golden State, like, that's just the thing. Like, if you're Steph Curry, you could have an off night, but you've got, like, what are the chances that Durant, Clay, and Steph all have an off night? Like, that doesn't happen. Like, at least one of them is going to be on, and that's all they need. And when they're all on, it's just they win by 30, so.
I forgot about Clay. I didn't forget about Clay. He was having decent first 2 games or whatever, and then he just popped off for 27 points in the first half, and like the most recent one. And like I really are we foolish to think that anybody's gonna challenge the Warriors? Like I really do feel like it's just pointless, and it's so sad because like
it'll be interesting to see with this free agency if things change.
Oh, God, I hope they do. But I'm starting to get sick of it.
Assuming like they all re-sign with the Warriors, I don't know if that's financially possible or not. It might be because the salary cap's a weird thing. Mm-hmm. But if they did, like, say if they keep the same team, how many years do you think it'll take for them to just not be good anymore?
Well, the reason they are able to keep the same team is because didn't Kevin Durant take like a pretty short 2-year deal with a player option involved and stuff? And then like Clay's now due, and Steph's the only one with Supermax.
It always seems like there's ways around. Like
if the player wants to be there, they'll find a way.
Yeah, exactly. So yeah, I know. Anyway, but back to my question. Like aside from the financials, like how many years from now do you think it'll say they keep the same team? How many years from now, just by age, like how many years?
Steph's in his prime. Steph's literally in his prime. Like, there's no doubt about it.
Like, they're all around 30. So, how many years do you think it'll take until, like, they're just not dominant anymore?
Well, Steph's going to be good for at least another, like, God, you got to think 5 years. He's showing no signs of, like.
But there's a difference between
5 years from now when you're 30.
No, there's a difference between, like, being very, very good still and, like, efficient, but also just being dominant and, like, no one else has a chance. Like, when do you think that line happens?
If they re-sign, does it ever end? Like, I mean, it'll end at some point.
It has to end.
So wait, are we saying that all of them are gonna, like, Clay, KD, and Steph are all gonna be on the Warriors till they retire? Is that the scenario pretty much?
That's that in this hypothetical scenario. Yes, I just want to
Okay.
know what year do they go from just dominant, no one else has a chance, till still a very good team, but other teams have a chance.
Not until one of them leave. Well, one of them has to leave. Obviously, Steph's not leaving, but and I know that's hypothetical. But like you said, and until they retire, then, and like literally until one of them retires.
Yeah. Well,
Two of the greatest shooters of all time, and then Kevin Durant, one of the greatest players of all time.
let's hope that doesn't happen.
God, please don't let it. It can't. Katie's not. It can't.
Yeah, on the Clippers, I think the Clippers have a bright future.
I think Boogie might go there. I keep thinking that. I don't know why. It just seems right, doesn't it?
I'd never thought about it, but okay.
I mean, I don't know. It just kind of seems right. I feel like him and Lou Williams really mesh well together.
Yeah, I don't know. I think they've got a nice blend of young players, and they've got a nice group of veterans too. And I
great coach.
Again, yeah, great coach. They've got great management. Jerry West is the owner, so
yeah, he's doing a great job.
I mean, they're a very well-run organization, and they've got nice young pieces. And
Landry Shamet, yeah, I'm gonna say it.
Saw a lot. I mean, I watched a lot of Wichita State basketball over the last 5 years, so I saw him play a lot. Very good player.
He's really good.
And Gilgeous-Alexander out of Kentucky, who's a freshman, went to the NBA. He's having a decent year. He got yeah, I know. So they got a nice blend of youth and veterans, and I think I don't know if I'm mistaken or not, but I think they have room for a max. I think.
Yeah, I think you're right. I believe you're right. And I'm not saying DeMarcus Cousins should be that max, because God, he should not be, especially if he's getting injured again. But if they get a superstar, they could. And like, if the Warriors if the Warriors split up and they get a superstar this offseason, yeah, Clippers can easily be contenders.
Yeah, so I think I would be optimistic if I don't know anyone. I don't know anyone who's a Clippers fan.
Yeah, no, neither do I.
Literally no one.
They should be more optimistic than the Lakers.
If there's anyone out there who's a Clippers fan, I would be optimistic. Is all I'm trying to say.
If you're a Lakers fan, it's time to become a Clippers fan. Like they have a way brighter future than the Lakers right now, in my opinion.
I don't disagree.
Yeah, you can't. No one can.
All right. So our last series of this episode to close out the show, we're going to be talking about the Trailblazers and the Oklahoma City Thunder.
Great series.
Portland is up 3-1, and it looks like they're going to win. It is possible they could come back. It's not impossible. I don't know. These comebacks are very rare in the NBA. That's why everyone made such a big deal when the Warriors collapsed 3-1.
Yep.
But
as they should.
The Blazers probably will win, most likely.
Yep. And I'm so happy.
Yeah.
But I really feel like it's Westbrook's fault. Like he just couldn't step up when he had to. Like this could easily be a 2-2 series. It should be a 2-2 series, and it would have been a way better series for that. But
so I never knew if you were a Westbrook fan or not. So
I hate Westbrook. I hate Westbrook with passion. I think he's so cocky, so ignorant in his post-game interviews. He thinks he can do whatever he wants, and he's a stat patter. He just is. It's like, come on.
I don't necessarily like that. Doesn't bother me like with his stats, but what does bother me is him answering questions, like the way he answers questions.
And it's rubbing off on Paul George. And I love Paul George. And he's ruining him. He's making Paul George.
Yeah, but I just don't. It's an odd thing, because part of me like can kind of understand how players feel when they're asked the same question over and over again. They don't want to answer questions. I understand that partially. But it just seems like he gets annoyed over questions that you just shouldn't. Like, why do you have to be annoyed by that?
How come every other player in the NBA is capable of answering the question with the same old boring answer, but he isn't?
And it's just not like it gets part of your job.
And really, it's literally a part of your contract that you have to answer these questions.
It's part of your job, and it's just part of being a player. And like, I don't get like being so annoyed. I do get frustration. There's a part of me that does, but it's just
his fault. It's his fault.
But it's every single time. Like he always gets annoyed. It's not even like just like every so often, which that I could kind of get that, but like it's just literally he's
looking for a fight, and like honestly, I kind of like that in a player. I like when they're aggressive, but like it's to a point. Like, why are they doing this to reporters? The reporters are doing their job.
It gets old, and
it gets so old.
That part of him has definitely gotten old to me.
Also, just to defend that stat pattern things, I know people are gonna get annoyed at me. In that one season, I guess last season, when he needed 23 rebounds in 2 games to average triple double again, and he got 23 rebounds, you're telling me he wasn't looking at the stats and telling his teammates to let him get a rebound? Like Steven Adams ran away from the ball one time so he could get a rebound. That sent me over the edge with him. I was just over him. So, yeah. Let me just defend that real quick. I know Jack's gonna kill me.
In terms of like the series, this playoffs, he's shooting 36%. He's shooting 30% from 3, and he's averaging 5.5 turnovers per game.
Love to hear it.
That's just really bad. For me personally, like if I'm playing basketball and I get like having a shooter's mentality, and like even if you're like for whatever, you got to keep shooting, but at a certain point you got to just you got to stop shooting.
Clearly, like I just said, clearly he's looking at the stats and he sees that 0 for 16 or whatever, and obviously it's an exaggeration. But like at some point, like and Paul George was having a good game. He was really killing it. I think he's finally got out of the little slump he was in with his injuries on his shoulder, and he was starting to show up, and Westbrook just couldn't do it.
Yeah, so
it's starting to make me understand KD a little bit more in his decision making.
And they're not winning, which is the most important.
That's the most important thing.
Like if they're doing this in wins, it's a different story than doing it in a loss.
When they lose this series, which is by the way a big deal, like people aren't like considering how bad that is. Is Steven Adams out of there? You think his contract's up? Paul George is stuck there for another year, I'm pretty sure. And Westbrook's never leaving, but I think Steven Adams might leave. I wouldn't stay there.
Obviously, we don't know what his relationship is on like a personal level with the teammates and the organization, but from an outside perspective, it seems like he likes.
Does he? Like I never saw him like buddy or anything, and not that you have to be with Russell Westbrook.
I feel like he always defends him though. I mean, I guess he kind of
has to. Like if you start a fight with the guy, and I'm next to you and I'm your friend. Sadly, I'm a part of this fight, and like that's kind of what I think that mentality he has right now.
I don't know. He's a very solid player too. So it'll be interesting to see because if he goes to like a team that's very like on the edge of competing, he could maybe be that final piece to the puzzle. So
who needs a center right now?
People don't even think about him. Like I didn't even think about him.
Put him on Portland. That'd be sweet.
No, but honestly, that's what I was just about to talk about. Like Enes Kanter's having a really good.
Yeah, I wanted him when he got dropped.
I feel like that was a very underrated mid-season signing.
Yeah, he got dropped. Who dropped him again? Where did he end up finally?
New York.
New York. You're still in New York when he got dropped. Okay. I mean, yeah, I remember he got dropped, and I was like, wow, like he's talented enough to just pick him up for no reason, even if we don't need that position.
Yeah. So I thought it was very underrated, and I feel like very good signing for Portland. So, yeah, I guess that'll be the last team we talk about. I know you said that Portland is you're on the Trailblazers bandwagon. So
I am. I think out of all the teams that are currently playing, Portland has impressed me the most by far.
Yeah. After last year's embarrassing sweep, which was not very good.
I think that wasn't their fault. That was just a terrible matchup for them.
I guess, but like the Pelicans didn't even make the playoffs this year.
Yeah, no, you're true. You're not wrong.
So I don't know. I obviously I feel like most, if not everyone, likes Damian Lillard. So I think most people are happy for him to finally, win a playoff series. And who knows? I mean, it's looking like they could beat either the Nuggets or the Spurs, like we just talked about earlier. So they could make the Western Conference Finals, and that,
that would be a great series with him and the Warriors. Oh yeah, I can't wait. Like this kind of has been not a slow start to playoffs per se, but like we all know what's going to happen except for that Denver, Spurs series. So I'm very excited for the rest of the playoffs.
Yeah, no, it's the first round is always, because like it's always, top heavy in the NBA, and the second round and the conference finals is really, the best series.
Oh yeah, I mean, debatable in the East. If the Bucks and the Boston, that might be the best series, honestly.
No, that's why I said like the second. Because there's usually like 3 or 4 teams that are just like they're contenders. So that's why it's the best.
Mm-hmm. Sure, completely agree.
Yeah, so it'll be fun the rest of the playoffs. And
Real quick, what
yeah.
player has impressed you the most so far in the playoffs in this first round?
Putting me on the spot.
Yeah, a little bit. I can't tell yet. Mine's biased answer, but it's the right answer. And that's a big hint.
Okay. I'm just kind of looking through my notes here because I didn't really have one in mind, but I'm gonna say not that it's a shock, but like I feel like people aren't, and I'm not even a fan of this guy exactly, but I'm gonna say Kawhi.
Yeah, I agree.
Because I feel like
playoff Kawhi isn't.
People forgot about him because he wasn't there last year, and I don't like Kawhi Leonard. I don't know if I ever really shared this, but like I don't like how he handled everything.
I mean, yeah, it was a very weird scenario, and he's such a quiet guy that you don't even know what's happening.
Yeah, I don't like him. He rubs me the wrong way. So, but with that being said, I just feel like people forgot about how good he was, especially in the playoffs. So that's why I feel like it's an underrated, very elite performance. He's averaging 28, like I said it before, 28 points, 6.5 rebounds, 53% from the field. That's very good. Yeah. And he doesn't turn the ball over. He's very efficient with the ball. So I'm going to say Kawhi. Who's your answer?
Tobias Harris. And I feel like he has stepped up unbelievably. In the last 20 games of the Sixers, I saw a stat that I'm pretty sure his 3-point percentage was like extremely low. Like I think it was in the 20%. And when he was when that happened, like recently, like in that most recent game, he was 6 for 6 from 3. He was scoring inside with ease. Like he really was like the difference maker in the beginning of that game. He set the tone, and like he's really, really impressed me. But that's just me. That's very biased, obviously. No,
I mean it's not. And sometimes biased answers are the right answer. Sometimes they are.
Yeah, but if you say Kyrie, I'd punch you. So I'm very, very hypocritical.
Yeah.
That's just me.
All right. So that's our episode today. It's been a good one. So yeah, thanks for hopping on.
That's been fun. Thanks for having me, man.
Yeah, Joey was not a scheduled guest, so he didn't go in with any preparation. I think he did pretty well. So
I was sitting on the bench, and Mitch will call my name, and I stepped up.
Yeah, he's ready to get in. Anyway, be sure to subscribe to the Hog Line Podcast on YouTube and Apple Podcasts. Follow the show on Instagram at Hog Line Podcast. Excuse me. Sometimes I always mess that up. Follow me on Instagram at Mitchell Manis, and follow Joey on Instagram at Joey Bolton 18, right?
Yeah, well, good for you. I didn't even know that.
You didn't even know that?
No, I always forget the number until someone says it.
All right. Yeah. So thanks for listening, everyone, and have a good night.
See you.